Hey everybody, we're working on step 2 where we're starting to put our do, mi, sol, and high do together on the staff modulator. Last week, in our last lesson, we did this staff modulator. Remember where we figured out do was 1 and it starts here on C, and then mi was the third step, and then sorry, I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. It seems blurry. Sol was the fifth, so we counted lines and spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the high do was there. So remember we did that with this, and we had do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So sol was 5, 6, 7, 8. Do was 8. And so we counted those spaces and steps to find out what we want to do. Now what we have is we have real staff music written up here, and we're going to travel along. Remember in our earlier lesson when we had things like do, mi, do written and we move from left to right? Well, that's what we're going to do now. We're going to move from left to right, but instead of just a straight line of letters, we have notes that are moving around, lower or higher. The note is higher on the staff, so we move our voice up. Here we move up quite high. Here we move up to the high do. So we're going to do that together, and I've written in the first ones, we're going to start with this do here. So I'll erase mi for a minute so we can see this. So we're going to do these notes like this, and we're going to travel along the staff from left to right. Then we come down to the next line, just like when we read a book, and go this way. And this one, do, is our last one down here at the bottom. Okay, so let's try, and I'd like to have you guys try to sing it along with me first, and then I'll have you try to do it alone, and then we'll sing it again together. So here's do, do, mi, do, sol, mi, do. Now up to high do. Do, sol, do, sol. Now this is always tricky. We have to go from here down to here, and we kind of have to look ahead, just like when we're reading a story. So sol is where we were at, and now we're going to go from sol down to mi. Sol, mi, sol, do, sol, do, sol, mi, do, mi, sol, do. Now, here's where it gets fun. You get to try it by yourself without me, and you can make up your own. So you can use your staff paper that you can print free from the internet. You can use staff paper if you buy staff paper, or your musical notebook, or you can do it on a whiteboard and you can erase it and make new ones all the time. Another really cool trick that our piano teacher does is she makes this staff. She gets black electrical tape and she tapes it onto a small whiteboard, and so that it never erases, but then she can write the notes with a dry erase marker on top of the electrical tape. And that's pretty handy because the lines never go away. Or you could, if you really wanted to have a little whiteboard be your music whiteboard, you could use a ruler and make really nice straight lines on it with a permanent marker, and that would always be your music board, and then those permanent lines wouldn't erase. But then you would always want to use a dry erase marker for making your notes. So you can erase your notes whenever you want, but your lines, your 5 lines would stay the same. And so you could have your parent, one of your parents or teacher, help you draw those lines. So now I'm going to point to these notes, and we're going to start on do again. And you're going to go and try to sight sing these notes without me singing them with you, okay? So here's do. I'll sing the do's with you to help you. Do, 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 do. How did it go? This is tough. This is going to take some practice, and it's going to take you working on it and being diligent to learn these yourselves as a family, to practice this more. I could mix these up. I could make up a new one, but you can do the same. But let's do it together again. And maybe we'll start down here. We'll do the whole thing, and then we'll come here and we'll start and just go to the end so you can see how we can start in a different place. Do, mi, do, sol, mi, do, do, sol, mi, sol, do, sol, mi, do, mi, sol, do. And one trick that you might try, if you feel like this is a little hard, one thing that might help you at first is to do what I did right here through the whole piece. So you could say, I know this is do, and that's mi, and this is sol, this is do. So then you could write the letter down, kind of as a little helper to help you along until you think you can do it without. So it's just kind of a little trick. You wouldn't want to do that forever, because then you're looking at the letters and not the actual note. You want to learn the note on the staff. But maybe at first, if you need that little helper, that would be okay. So then remember, under the high do, you write the D with a line that tells you to go up high with your voice. And sol, high do, sol. So then it's underneath. And usually in music, that's where your words would be. So really, when you sing music, you have to look at the note and the words of the music at the same time. So that kind of would help you do that, help you practice looking at the letters and the notes at the same time. Now I could write it down here, but before I do that, instead of doing that, we're going to practice just starting here. So if I say do is here, then this is mi. So we're just going to start on mi and do mi, sol, do, sol, do, sol, mi, do, mi, sol, do. Now let's go back, and now that we've written these in, kind of as a little tool to help us, let's try that and see if it's easier for you, if it's been difficult. So here's do, mi, do, sol, mi, do, do, sol, do, sol. Another thing I'd like to point out is we start and we end on do. Most songs do that. And if you have a real song and it's ending, we've learned in our earlier lessons we always have a double bar line at the end. That tells us it's the end of the music. We don't have bar lines in this piece because it's not really, doesn't have a time signature, so we're not really working on the beat or the rhythm yet. We're just working on reading those notes on the musical staff. But anyway, you can do this however you need to, but I hope that this is helpful and you can keep practicing that as you move along. So work hard and make up your own patterns to practice with, okay?